Alright, continuing my reviews of the Fast and Furious movies, here's the review of Fate of the Furious. So, the plot of this movie is everybody is living their great lives, especially Dom and everybody else, but then Dom suddenly gets noticed by the cyber terrorist named Cypher, played by Charlize Theron, and basically manipulates him to work for her and turn against his team, and she pretty much does anything to get in his way, and she pretty much just gets a hold of him and tries to use him and to kill everybody. And then his entire team, meanwhile, hears about this and tries to go after it, Cypher, and save Dom and get everything back the way it was. Yeah, I know this came out around a time where, even though it did make a lot of money, it didn't really make that much like domestically, because I think everyone was kind of turned off by the fact that Paul Walker wasn't in this, and that I can understand. Like, as I said in my review for Furious 7, I do get why people would think that would be should have been the last one. But that being said, I think this movie is good on its own. I I honestly thought it was fine. Um, because, like I said in my review of Furious 7, the thing about these movies is that while Paul Walker was an important key into why these movies were so good, he was just one guy. I don't mean for that to sound insensitive, that sounds really terrible, but like, he was just one of the many talented people that worked on these movies. There was so many other likable people in it that it didn't really hit that hard. It just felt like a movie without Brian. And yeah, this movie really kind of did emphasize the fact that it wasn't really about this franchise isn't really about racing anymore, because it's more about stopping terrorists and criminals and just supervillains, and it's pretty much not really like a Fast and Furious movie besides some car chases. That's what pretty much the current movies are like. But that being said, it's pretty good. I I think especially the chemistry between, well, not chemistry because obviously they're enemies. The interaction with Dom and Cypher, I think, are really good. Vin Diesel and Charlize Theron, like, I think they work really well with what they're given, I and that's really the highlight of it for. And Cypher, she's a really good villain. I think Charlize Theron really nails this performance. Like, she's actually legit intimidating. Like, this is probably one of the most intimidating villains in the Fast and Furious movies that I've seen. Like, she's very manipulative. She will stop at nothing to get her way, and she's really like an interesting character. I think she was the show stealer easily. Um, yeah, and everyone else comes back, especially Dwayne Johnson, because he was in the last one, and like, he's always good in everything he's in. The whole entire cast returns, and lots of the action is still really good. It's very over the top, lots of great stunt work, and lots of, it kind of just felt like in some ways, plot wise, it did feel like a typical spy movie, not so much a Fast and Furious racing movie. But like, if you put like the other movies aside, it's actually not a bad movie. I think it's actually quite good, and I get why this movie turned a lot of people off domestically when it it came out, because I this movie did make a whole lot of money, but it was mostly because of other countries overseas. And domestically, it didn't make a lot, and I guess because we didn't have the whole gang together, because one of them sadly passed. So, but like I said, like, that doesn't really ruin the experience, because there's still other elements of this franchise I enjoyed, and this did honestly still contained a lot of the elements of the Fast and Furious movies I like: action, the great characters, talented people, lots of amazing over the top stunt work. It's just, maybe I'm just being too generous, but I actually did think this movie was pretty good. Not one of my favorites in the franchise, but there was still a lot in it I liked. So, and Jason Statham is in it, and he's great as always. Mostly, he's with a baby throughout most of the movie, which is Dom's child, and like they have some great scenes together. I never would have expected Jason Statham to do movie with a baby. I actually want him to do a movie with a baby, like for a straight 2 hours, like an action movie, like not just a few scenes, but a whole movie, like because that's how likable Jason Statham is. He's always that cool guy actor everybody claims people to be, but not actually. But Jason Statham is that guy, and he was a great addition to the series, and he was great in Hobbs and Shaw. So I thought Fate of the Furious, like there. So see, there's some aspects to this movie I did enjoy. Like even though it might not have been 100% necessary, Fury 7 did feel like a pretty good conclusion. I still thought this was good for what it was. So I mean, if you hate this movie, that's fine. But for me, I can't really overlook the good stuff in it, so I enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, I'm gonna see Fast X tonight, as I said. So I'm gonna review F9 hopefully in a short bit, or I don't know. I'm seeing Fast X later tonight, so I'll see you later.